Sorry for the day late response this week, but like everyone has been saying lately, I just had my fall play close yesterday afternoon, and last week was a crazy week, so getting this in a day late, but getting it done anyway. The question stated for the week was about promotion and promoting shows, which I have no problem saying is my weakest area of directing. I'm just, with everything else that goes on with putting on a show, unfortunately, promotion kind of takes a back seat. I always get a poster made and it out. The last couple shows I've had like nicer posters made at a local printing shop, and then I hand them out to the kids, and then the kids are in charge of putting them out through town or schools or wherever they can get them hung. I always tell them to ask permission and all that good stuff, but anything beyond that usually slips through the cracks. I did like the idea in the chapter about having a poster hanging day with the kids, like on a Saturday, a team building experience. I think that would be fun. Gather the kids, and then it would make sure that we really do get our posters out there and hung up and for the world to see. I also rely a lot on social media. I send out a digital copy of our poster to the kids and to the parents, and just ask for everyone to post and put it out there on social media and get the word out the best they can as well. And I think that for us in our little area helps a lot, because it just gets the word out to people that would not generally know about this information. I also this past spring had a student wanting to start an Instagram account for our theater, which I thought was a great idea, and he did a couple of promotional videos and stuff, which I'm very big on not letting that type of stuff distract us from a show, because the show's the thing we're there for, and he gets that, and he did a really good job and does a really good job of putting things together and putting on Instagram, because that's what the kids all are into. So that was a fun experience this past spring. And then this past show, he made a few videos as well. But I think a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, I think in our case here, our show quality speaks for itself. And this, I don't want to sound boastful or anything, but I pride myself and the self of the high school, of the kids, to put on the best possible show we can. And I think that our audiences are beginning to understand that they're going to get a good, high quality show when they come. So like this past weekend, we were sold out 3 out of the 4 nights, which is awesome. I did not expect that at all, but it just goes to show that these kids are working hard and word spreads quickly, and that's awesome. So I think you can have all the promotion in the world, but if your show doesn't line up with that, then I think that will also follow you in shows to come. And if you have a good show, that will also follow the world. Word will spread that they put on a good production, and that's what I strive, is to put on the best possible production for my kids, to give them every opportunity and to make it the best quality show for them, because that's why they're here, to learn. Moving on to the director's vision. The 2 chapters we read this week were about kind of the more specific, minute things, the thought of a play, kind of the, what did it say? The idea of the play, the idea behind the play, the subject, the theme, the subject being a one word to describe it, and then the theme being a complete sentence to describe the play as a whole. And as a director, we should go in knowing what those are, so that we have a nice strong base in what we're doing, and it doesn't become wishy-washy or all over the place. I also like the second chapter on diction, which I think a lot of the different categories under that chapter are very important, going into putting on like the finishing touches for a good show, or a great show. As my theater mentor always said, putting the frosting on the cake. We've made the cake, it's here, now let's put the frosting on it. Let's make it the best possible thing we can. The areas that I really focus on with my kids from that chapter would be the emotions. How are the characters feeling? Not just vocally saying it with emotion, but facial expressions, body language, all of that. Finding those moments. I always appreciate when it talks in here about silence, finding those moments that to take those pauses. I'm always big on cue pickup and cue overlap and keep the show moving, but when those moments happen, to take them so that they mean more and they're bigger to the audience. So I do appreciate those little examples and explanations of silence and why it can be good. Also kind of went into a little bit of, this kind of goes into diction, like your tone, the vocal quality, getting all of that out. But finally it ended with subtext, which I liked that little section about subtext and kind of explaining it more. Something that's always kind of been in the back of my mind, but I liked how it was verbalized or written out here. I like this one quote. It says, quote, "The premise is that a given line of dialogue is not dramatically significant until the actor projects the implied meaning below the apparent surface of the line." In the way that I kind of say that to my students is take the, sorry, take the, take what you've memorized and just the lines, and now add the reality to it. Add the emotion, add the subtext, the facial expressions, the body language underneath just those memorized lines. And for high school kids that don't have as much life experience, that can be harder. So working on pulling that kind of stuff out can be difficult, but when you do and they feel it and they understand it, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty magical. So that was our, briefly, our reading for this past week. So thank you. I'm sorry about the phone alarm.